Namaste and welcome to Viewpoint. So Donald Trump is back as the President of the United States for another term. And right from day one, bang on, he's signing one executive order after another. And another significant order among that is the deportation of undocumented migrants, out of which it is estimated there's about 200,000 of them from India who are undocumented migrants in the US. And our External Affairs Minister has actually accepted to bring back the first tranche of almost 20,000 of them back to India. So what's happening over here? What's this undocumented migrants versus illegal migrants, and what is going to be the entire logistics of getting them back to India? So to discuss with this, we have with us a political researcher and analyst, Mr. Suresh Kochatil. Namaste ji.
Namaskar.
So to start off with, we keep saying, Trump has always been saying, right, I'm not for illegal migration, I'm going to seal the borders, I'm going to do that. Now there's a new word which is coming, it's undocumented migrant. So first I'd like to understand, what is the difference between an undocumented migrant and an illegal migrant?
To keep it very simple, an illegal migrant is somebody who's jumped the border, especially along Mexico or Canada. Unlike UK where they cross the seas and come by boat, here they come directly through the borders which are open during the Biden era, and they come in. You don't know who they are. They throw their passports away. They're thrown there everywhere and say, I am John McKenzie. So how do you know who is John McKenzie? Whether he's the same guy, he doesn't carry any identification with him. You have to accept for who he is, an illegal migrant. At the maximum, he may carry a passport if he is lucky, but then he can be always traced back to the country and see if he can got a criminal record. So they want to kind of run away from their country because they have a problem there, being crime or any other issue. Undocumented migrants, and that crowd is what President Trump is really targeting right now. So they are criminals, they are rapists, they are murderers, they need to go back.
There's no illegal immigrants, you're saying?
Illegal. I'll just pack them off and send them right away. Right away. The second part is the undocumented migrants. So what happens with this typically is these people come on a tourist visa or a student visa. And this happens in Gulf also, by the way. Some people go there on tourist visa, and once they go there, they try and get a job. And they're supposed to come back and again take a visa for the job visa, and then go back legally. But sometimes they just go to a neighboring country, which is just 2 hours away or 1 hour away, stay there for a week, get the visa, and come from there to back to the country, which is kind of legal there. Let's leave that aside. Like when you look at US, what happens, many of them go on a student visa, for example, and they have a certain period which they can work there, or they can work as per the laws of the land. Some of them traverse to the H-1B process. On the other hand, undocumented migrants are somebody who came legally, but then did not complete the process of staying on legally. Example, it can be a student who came on a student visa, finished their education, tried getting an H-1B, didn't get it, and then they just disappeared. They work in a restaurant or they work in a gas station.
They really can't go back home again as well.
See, the parents have spent a lot of money to send them abroad. The American dream, if you can call it that way, because in the Telugu-speaking states, if you're not going to the US, then you're a good-for-nothing character.
Entire village knows that he's gone, so he really can't come back.
In the wedding, they talk, where is your son, where is your daughter? US. Oh, wonderful US. What they do there? And I'm not decrying the entire lot. There are, out of 100, a significant percentage of them are on a good paying jobs. But now that is all changing. One, the Americans want their jobs back, and I don't fault them for it. If a Bangladeshi comes and takes away our jobs, we would react the same way. You're going to another country and then you're demanding their jobs, which is not fair. Okay, what Trump is saying now, and even yesterday he said this, we need workers, we need skilled workers. We have a shortage of that because he's planning to expand the economy. Yesterday there was a $500 billion announcement by Oracle and, two, three different companies that were there, and they said they're going to make this huge money. And Sam Altman was there, Son was there, all these people are there yesterday with President Trump in the Roosevelt House. Now, where do you get the people to do that? Setting up the infrastructure for AI. You need people. And America doesn't have that many skilled manpower. They have people, but they don't have that particular skills which they look. So, here comes India, here comes China, here comes Japan and other countries which have the skilled manpower. And they're willing to send them people. China still has a problem with US, so Indians have no issue because historically we've been going there to that country, to US for a long time. Many of them have got green. Now, green card itself is a huge waiting list. I know my friends who have been there for 18, 20 years who haven't got a green card yet.
Right.
Now, that again is a big lottery, whether you get it or not. So, what do you plan to do? Now, the question is, President Trump, when you look from his point of view, he has made this a campaign story. He said very clearly, I'm going to send them back. And they also said, let's make America great again, which means Americans need to have their jobs.
Correct.
And that to high-paying jobs. Okay? They can't be paid the bottom dollar. They have to be paid the same money which they're supposed to be legally paid. You can't take migrant workers, you can't take outsiders and then give them low wages, working at 1/10 the cost and then passing on. This is something that the car manufacturing companies, IT companies, and a lot of them are doing in the US, no longer.
Right.
So that is where the problem is coming, because if the numbers, as we see in today's newspapers, 18,000 to 20,000, imagine the number of aircraft that is required to get them back. Assuming that even one aircraft can carry 250 people, how much time it's going to take, or how many aircraft is going to take to get all of them back? What is the cost? Who will bear the cost for the tickets? This is not an evacuation that we saw in Kuwait or other places which we saw recently, Ukraine, we saw that. This is not that. This is somebody who's gone on his own will, and there's no crisis there, there's no war there. But because you committed something illegal, as per the law there, you must have saying down it's not illegal, I've done nothing wrong. But according to that country's law, it is illegal. You're coming back.
No, but we also see these kind of incidents happen a lot in the Middle East. And in the Middle East, they have this once every 4 or 5 years, they have this something called amnesty. Where,
Pardon.
Yeah, where you go, we're not going to imprison you, we're not going to put you somewhere. But then we don't see the government of India actively engaging, saying, okay, fine, we're going to take them all back with our own expenses. We don't see them doing that. But in the US, we are seeing that Indian government is coming forward and saying, okay, fine, we are going to take them back ourselves. So what do you think is the dynamics over here, where India feels compelled that, no, let's do it on our own?
See, there's a difference between Gulf, what you mentioned. The amnesty scheme is they're expelled. They're put on a one-way ticket. Sometimes the ticket is paid for by the local government, be it Saudis or be it the UAE or Bahrain or Qatar or whoever it is. They stamp them on and out where they cannot enter those GCC countries again. Okay? The same thing in the US is going to happen to these people. Now, I don't know whether they're going to stamp it in such a way that they will not get a future visa. We don't know. Now, I'm more scared about not the guys coming back. And as you asked, why is Jaishankar or anybody agreeing? A sensible government has to do it. You cannot let your people rot in the detention center which the US government is putting up.
So has that already started? Or
Yeah, they already started the work on it. It doesn't take much time. Guantanamo Bay didn't take long. I'm not saying it's going to be like Guantanamo Bay. That's a terrorist stuff. This is not going to be, it's like a detention camp. It's not a jail, technically.
So you don't really have freedom to move around?
Yeah, it's all, everything. So it's like a transit point. But you cannot step out of the boundaries of whatever is being built. But we haven't seen that also, what really is going to happen. Because a lot of legal challenges are also coming in the way by this. A lot of human rights organizations are kind of pushing for a legal challenge against all this. By birth, you cannot get a citizenship now. So that is one big route. And again, here he says undocumented migrants. He doesn't talk about other categories. So undocumented migrants, anyway, illegal guys are out anyway.
Right.
But undocumented migrants cannot, even if the children are born in the US, no longer, because the US government, the US citizenship thing, they give a certificate, not a citizenship. They give a certificate to a kid who's born in the US.
Birthright citizenship.
Yeah, that certificate is used later by the parents to claim that the child has to be there. And if the child is getting thing, I need to take care of the kid, so I need to get a citizenship.
So it's technically, it's a very well thought out mechanism where you're not just sending the undocumented migrants out, you're ensuring there's no way the child is going to get them citizenship either.
There are two different things, by the way. One is the citizenship by birth is taken away now. The second is undocumented migrants being sent back. At the same time, H1B is staying. Okay, that's not going to go anywhere. Initially, the thing was that H1B will be scrapped or the numbers reduced and all that. But because of the pressure from the IT giants that we saw on the stage with President Trump on that day when swearing-in was happened, be it Elon Musk or be it Google Sundar Pichai or others who are there on the stage, Jeff Bezos and others, H1B is going to stay, which means legally go there. Do your documentation properly. Because in US, for example, I read with funny attempt, I don't know whether we spoke about this earlier, that many of the Telugu-speaking students want to apply for asylum, political asylum. It's laughable. Nobody will accept it. What kind of situation is here that can be compared to, say, Punjab, post the Operation Blue Star and others, where you can claim that, I'm a Khalistani supporter, so I'll get, jailed in India or I'll get tortured in India and all that. Here, there's nothing like that.
So it's a loophole they're looking for in the US.
Like, but the loophole has to be really airtight. It doesn't work. And I was reading that many of the legal counsels were saying, look, don't try this method. Because once you have stamped out, then you won't even get any chance to come back to US again. Don't try this.
And if you said political asylum, perhaps you may not even be able to get back to India.
Another problem. See, but we will take it in sympathetic way. It's not Khalistani crowd, it's our own Telugu boys and girls. We will get them back, or even others from across India, not just, but a majority of, we all know that people who go to the US are from our Telugu speaking states. We have to have a sympathetic view, because what will they do once they come back? One, the money they've spent. Second, they are studied in universities, some of them, not all of them, I'm saying. Some of them are studied in universities which are really shady. We saw a lot of cases where the universities just didn't exist and a lot of students were left on the street, not just in US, even in Canada. They go there to the shady universities by consultants from India who send them there. They make fake bank documents and they get caught.
Fake education certificates as well.
Fake education certificate, experience certificate sometimes, and then they get caught. Okay, see, the problem is very simple. Is this, when we can understand a Gulf migration, a Gulf dream. There's a construction boom in the 80s and 90s and even 2000s, where the Gulf was building up its booming infrastructure. No longer, they are done with that. Now they're consolidating because they know the oil is not going to stay there forever. The Gulf was an economic migration. The US is more of an aspirational migration. Because my neighbor went there and made millions of dollars, I want to go there and make millions of dollars. My neighbor owns a BMW or a Mercedes when he went there. I don't want to drive a Maruti or a Tata car in India. I want to go there and drive. I want to live in a huge house like that.
I mean, even if I don't, I need to create a perception that I'm doing that.
Yeah, see, the problem is in Gulf. I remember when, because I'm from Kerala, when we used to go back when we were kids in school. The guys used to come from there, used to come with perfumes, t-shirts. Those days were there tape recorders. And we used to always wonder 2-in-1s and oh my God, this must be something. But that poor guy is locked out there for 2 years before he comes back with his goodies. Chocolates and all that. But today nobody bothers to get anything from outside because you get better stuff in India itself. Okay, so that is the story has changed. But here you're building a kind of a dream sequence. They're saying, oh, that's a land of milk and honey. America, nobody gets shot in the streets, nobody gets shot in the schools, but we all know what happens. Not that India is kind of doodh mein dhula hua, but here also we have a lot of issues. But at least you are in your home. Nobody will ask you to get out of your home. You are in your home country. For all you know, you have the legal protection that you are a Bharatiya and you are in Bharat. At least you can stay here. But when you go abroad, when you are in Rome, do as the Romans do, as they say. And then legally go there, no issues. But going there illegally, because we've seen, I gave you a few names of Indians who, Sundar Pichai or others in the World Bank. We have a lot of people who are working there, who are from India. They have made a name for themselves. And that is the most important thing. That means India has talent. Look at the Spell Bee contest. We are the champions in the US, the Indian boys and girls. So we are there. The next generation has already made its mark. The question is only, don't spoil the name. And I saw a beautiful article written by Syed Akbaruddin the other day, a former permanent representative to the United Nations, Professor Bashiruddin's son in the Osmania University Journalism Department. He was the HOD there. And the way he wrote, Akbaruddin wrote is very beautifully done. And he said this very clear, that, don't spoil the name, don't spoil the reputation, because you have made a name for yourself. You have created such a good name in the US. You're not like somebody who's come from Mexico or Venezuela or other countries. You are one of the STEM people who come with a lot of technical knowledge. Maintain that image. Don't spoil it. They should look up and say, wow, these Indians are great. Not like what is happening to Pakistani grooming gangs in the UK. The bad name they created will never go away for generations now.
So as a final question now, let's say, right now the estimate is about 200,000 undocumented migrants for a basic number for Indians over there. Now let's say if there's one of them over there, what might essentially be going on in their minds? If let's say if they feel, okay, I don't want to get into this mess, let me exit that country as soon as possible. Are they in a position right now to walk into the airport, get a ticket and come out, or will they be actually...
They can even go to Canada. I'm sure Canada will welcome them with open arms, but Canada has also tightened its immigration rules now. They are also having a huge housing crisis there. Maybe once the housing crisis is sorted out, Canada needs people to buy its products. Look at the Indian population, 140 crores, and what is the population of Canada? Just like Australia, you need people there. You need a large number of people to run that country, to buy the products. Otherwise, that's going to be a problem. So my guess is that Europe is a great destination. It's still okay. I mean, even though European economy is not in great shapes, except for a few countries, they can try and go to Europe.
So will they be allowed to immigrate at the airport, or will they be said that,
No, I think I'm not an expert in that field, so I cannot really comment on it. But my guess is that they might come back to India and then apply for a fresh visa, Shenzhen visa or something, or a work visa to go to the Europe. But then it's all the decision. Even for students who are now thinking of going to US, they'll be in two minds. Should we go there or should we not go there? That's why I said forget the people who are there. They at least know what the solution is. But there are students who are waiting. And other day I saw that there was a news item yesterday saying thousands of refugees who were cleared by the previous Biden administration, who were ready to enter, have now been told, no, don't book your tickets. You're not welcome here anymore. These are people who everything was approved. Citizenship, not citizenship, at least coming to US was approved. Now they are also in the limbo. So what happens to students who are going to register for next year's courses from India? Are they going, where are they going to go? Because
Some
they're
of them
going
have
to
already
take
paid money to the agents and all.
and some cases taken bank loans. So what will they do now? That's the question. So there is, I think every state government has to step in now and put up counseling centers, tell the students, tell the children, tell the parents, look, this is the situation. Look at another country to go to now. We're not asking you to go to Ukraine. We're not asking you to go to China or Cuba. We are not asking you to go to North Korea. But think of good European countries where you can go to. US is still available provided you do everything legally. That's the main thing.
Thank you so much. Yeah. So you heard his opinions, you heard his viewpoints. So what are yours? Kindly comment below. We'll catch up again. Namaste and Jai Hind.